Larry, Fort Worth Memories Museum and Groups. Okay, so I'm trying this again to see if it's automatically shared to Facebook. Okay, I got the notification. Again to see if it's automatically shared to Facebook. Okay, I'm on the YouTube. And yeah, it is. It's shared to Facebook. Amazing. So I'm going to try to, wait a minute. Okay, I just said good morning everyone. I wonder if it shared that. Y'all are going to have to bear with me until I wonder if it shared that. But I'm live on Facebook. Y'all are going to have to bear with me until I wonder if it shared that. I'm live on Facebook. Right, I need to turn the sound down on that. And y'all can still hear me, I assume. I'm live on Facebook. Okay. Wow, it's amazing. Oh, shoot. Is that it? That's it. So I'm going to go off of that. It says there's 2 comments. Yep. Unbelievable. I guess Scott did that while I was asleep yesterday or day before. So Scott, are you on or? So I'm only dealing with the 1 camera now or the 2 that's the camera. What's that one to? So I don't have to worry about that camera or that camera anymore. Or I do. No, just this one. Right? Okay, so there's like a 5-second delay. Cool. James is in, George is in, and 2 others. Brittany's in. Unbelievable. I don't see how he does this stuff and he's not even down here. That's because his computer's hooked to this one at the house. I assume. I don't know any other way he could do it because he can't. Okay, so now when I do that, I can share it to the internet, which I just did, and I can also share it to memories, live videos, and messages, which I just did. So we're now on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 platforms. And the other ones are Roku, and I don't even know the names of these other deals. Hey, James. Donnell is in. So, yeah. Well, that's a start. I was dealing with 5 cameras yesterday. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now I'm only dealing with 1. I'm only dealing with 1 camera, is that correct, Scott? That I have to worry about? I don't have to worry about that camera or that camera or that camera. I'm only worried about that camera. Cool. Alright, so that eliminates that problem. Good morning to everybody. Where are we at? Today is Friday, July the 11th. I know I did the morning show, the morning numbers. Yeah, it's July the 11th. Terry is in. Good morning. Good. We're making progress over here. So I guess I can read off our sponsors to start with. How about that? First, let me make an announcement. Anybody that is knowledgeable about online auctions needs to contact myself or Colin Lassiter or Eric Walsh. For the bike giveaway this year, we've already had a couple of businesses or sponsors like the Rockwood Golf Course, Go-Kart and Mini Golf wants to donate a go-kart, a new go-kart, sells for $3,000. So our dilemma was, how do we determine who's going to win that go-kart? You know, because as soon as somebody wins, then somebody else is going to say, well, how'd they win? I wasn't there. I wasn't there for the drawing or whatever. So talking to people that know, said, Larry, you need to have an online auction. You need to get businesses or people to like, my idea was, and this was before last week, I could get Pat Green to sign a guitar and see what that would bring. But anyway, you know, John Bonnell will give away a $100 gift thing from one of his restaurants, and people bid on it, and so then we've got the money to go buy bikes. They can give the go-kart to whoever they want. Does that make sense to anybody? So, but we know nothing, I know nothing about running an online auction. But if you're a sponsor, or if you've got a business, if you'd like to participate, you can be a Whataburger chain and say, we're going to give you a $50 gift card at this Whataburger, or whatever, you know, a Ready Lube place, a swimming pool cleaning place, any type of business can make a donation, and you'll get plenty of coverage. And now also, for our more lucrative sponsors, let's say people that do very well all year round, say they give us $5,000 every year to buy bikes, which Tim Love does. But he says, hey, I've got X number of restaurants. I want to give a $100 gift card at each one of these restaurants that people can bid on. So you see where we're going. But now here's the kicker. It has to be done a couple of months before the giveaway, and the giveaway is December 13th. So if anybody's knowledgeable about how you run one of those, how you set it up, how you do any of that, they need to contact probably Colin Lassiter, or you can contact me and I'll get you in touch with Colin or Eric. Well, no, we're not going to do that, Donnell. I'm going to go this other route. I'm the president of this 501c, and I made a decision. That's how we're going to do it. There's a lot of Cook's Children's. There's a lot of these big things that give away stuff. That's how they do it. So, but thank you for the suggestion. My bicycle giveaway, which is now a 501c3, has already given away $1 million worth of new bikes in 38 years. This is the 39th year. I've got a board of directors. We've got several volunteers, several groups that help us, the Fort Worth Fire Department, Fort Worth Police Department. We encourage all areas of Tarrant County to bring their kids. The giveaway is on December 13th It's at Farrington Field by the Billingsley Field House. That's behind the actual stadium. And the gates will open at around 6 or 6:30 a.m. And it's always over by 11 in the morning, 12 at the latest. Our goal this year is 1,400 new bikes. I've had several people in the last few weeks reach out to me and say, we've got bikes that are barely used, but we give away new bikes. That's what I originally set it up in the 80s. I wanted to give away new bikes. And going into this year, I've given away 19,550 bikes. And most of those years we've given away toys. We give away a helmet with every bike. That's kind of my legacy. It's called Larry's Kids. We need over 100 volunteers. There is no discrimination. I don't care which party you're for, atheist, Christian, Muslim, I don't care. Gay, straight, whatever. All I'm concerned with is getting bicycles, helmets, and toys for needy families. They do not have to fill out any paperwork. We don't ask for an ID, nothing. I know when the city or state or federal has giveaway programs, you have to fill out paperwork that's that thick. Not here. Your kid needs a bike, you be in the car over there on December 13th. That's a couple of Saturdays before Christmas. We do it from our heart, and it's a moving experience. So please come out and help us spread the word. I've contacted churches in the past, all of our city council members. I've sent messages. Some of our city council members show up. Last year at the event, we had Mike Moncrief, Betsy Price, and Mayor Maddie Parker there. This year, Mayor Barr, who was before Mike, is going to be there. So we'll have 4 mayors, 60 or 70 years worth of mayors. No, not yet. We're going to have a meeting July 21st at 10 a.m. That's our first board meeting this year. Ginger's in, Aaron's in, Marquita's in. And I do not know, because 1633 is my address. 1635 used to be where we ship stuff, because Kyle and those folks, their office didn't close till 5. I leave at 2. So we're going to have to figure out how to do that. I guess we'll just go back to send it to 1633 Rogers Road, and if they screw up, like they have with Brittany in the past, they took a picture of where they left the bikes. They left them next door at the pickleball court. They didn't come down here and leave them. But of course, I pulled that gate to, or I shut the gate, so they can't get back here anyway. So if you're sending bikes or toys or helmets in, you need to make sure and tell the shipper, hey, they leave it at 2 o'clock. Now we're going to bring that up. In fact, I'm going to put that on my notes. Thank you, Brittany. What address? Another problem we have is storage. That's our biggest problem. Money is no longer a problem for us. We raised $80,000 or $90,000 last year. We've got new sponsors on board, so money's no problem. We need money. We need money or bikes. But, you know, last year we gave away 1,120 bikes, okay? And helmets to go with each one of them. And I don't know how many toys, but we had plenty of toys, new toys. The nonprofit bought from Academy 600, and then 200 and 100. The nonprofit bought 900 bikes from Academy, and they gave us a deal. So 900, 1,000, 1,100, 220 came from y'all. People, members sent bringing 1 bike, 4 bikes, 5 bikes. So the goal this year is 1,400 bikes. I've kind of talked with other board members. Our initial purchase this year with Academy is going to be 1,000 bikes. So that will leave 400 for y'all. Businesses, individuals, whatever. So, like I say, people say, well, I live in Hurst. That's fine. If you're in Tarrant County, that's all you need to do, and we don't check anything. We don't ask your name. We don't do anything. That's why the giveaway goes so quick. It's over by 11 in the morning. We have 4 lines of cars coming up. Cars or trucks or Suburbans or SUVs. And we have order takers, or not order takers. When you first approach the Farrington Field entrance, we've got people that we call our first responders. They ask, okay, for the bicycle, it's 1 bike per vehicle. For the bicycle, boy or girl, well, I've got 2 kids, okay? Which one do you want the bike for? My daughter, she's 12, okay? So we get a 24 or 26 inch bike and a helmet. And then for the toys, you want those for your son? Yep, he's 5, okay? We know on the day of the event approximately how many toys we have, and then we divide that by whether you get, each car gets 2 toys, 3 toys, whatever. So that's how it works. And then we have volunteers loading the vehicles, and then they drive on out. Jody Dean is always there dressed up as Santa Claus, and he takes pictures with the kids, and it's just a real fast-moving event that's very emotional. We very rarely have a hiccup. So since one of our sponsors came on board and said they wanted to give us 1 or 2 go-karts, I immediately started contacting other board members and said, how would we possibly give away that? Somebody's going to say, well, I wasn't there or whatever. So I believe Colin Lassiter came up with the idea, let's do an online or a silent auction is what you call it, silent auction. So whatever we take in from businesses or individuals or whatever needs to be new items. You got a TV shop and you want to give away a 40-inch flat screen, that's fine. So then we have this silent auction, which I think in our case is going to not be at a building, it's going to be online. Then we take that money and that goes towards our buying bikes, toys, or helmets. So if anybody knows how to run one of those, you get a hold of Colin Lassiter. He's easy to find on Facebook, or Eric Walsh, or myself. And if you get a hold of me, I'm going to give you Colin's phone number or Eric's phone number. Those guys are going to be in charge of setting up this first go around online auction or in-person auction. I don't know how we're going to do it, but we need instruction. We need help from somebody that's done that. There's several. Billy Bob's has had several silent auctions. Cook's Children's. There's a lot of Susan G. Coleman, I think they run one. So anybody that's knowledgeable about how to run one, please contact us so we can get it set up. And if you're a business, say you've got a Italian restaurant over in Hurst and you want to give $100 gift card, that's fine. Contact me, any of our board members. Colin will be happy to help you. Eric Walsh, Jeff Petrie, myself. And you can write that off. We're not positive on the actual amount, but I think it's 100%. since we're a 501c3. So, in other words, if you've got a whatever X item and it retails for $400, but you've really only got $200 in it, but we're going to advertise it and sell it, the bid will start, I guess, at $400. So you win kind of you get to write it off, and you're only out maybe not all of that expense. So anyway, that's where we are on this giveaway. We're halfway in the year, and we've got lots of work in front of us. Our first actual meeting is not until Monday week, and from there the board members will be hitting the ground running. So if you get a phone call, email, text from one of our board members, please be kind and give. This year we'll go over 20,000 bikes, and at $50 a bike, that's $1 million. And so now there's no way we can touch bikes for $50. But back in the 80s, $50 was probably a reasonable price. In fact, back in the 80s, there was one year, it might have been 91 or 92, I didn't get to buy any bikes at a deal anywhere. All of the car dealers, Jack Williams, Dub Shaw, Charlie Hillard, all the new car stores donated money. The McDavid brothers, the McKinney brothers, all of those people. We just went out and bought bikes at wherever we could find them. So, but now we're a lot more sophisticated. We're set up. It's a non-profit, so you get to take a tax deduction. I think our minimum for signing up for a tax deduction is $100. The paperwork that we have to send out to you, if you make a $5 donation, that's too time consuming to send you that information. So, but I think it's $100. I can get Lindsay is our comptroller. I can get with her and find out what the number is, but it's $100 or $200. So anyway, we need some help. We've got such a large base that somebody can get a hold of our guys and we can get going. In fact, Colin's on the feed right now. And I'll figure out an address, Brittany. One year, Brittany sent 2 or 3 bikes, and of course she lives in New Jersey, and she kept saying, "Did you get the bikes?" Nope, didn't get them. She got back with either UPS or FedEx. They sent a picture where they left them, which was next door at the pickleball court. So somebody got an early Christmas present. But they reimbursed her, or they resent the bikes. I think she didn't have to pay again. I'm not sure on that, though. Okay, so that's it for our toy and bike update. We're eating at Zeke's Fish and Chips, 1 o'clock tomorrow. It's right off of Camp Bowie. I think that's Curzon or something. They've been there since the 60s. And people say, well, they've been new owners. It's the same food. We've been eating there for years. I don't know any updates on our on the flood. Let's do our sponsors. Eric Walsh, real estate and developing. Good guy, great guy. Very active in the bike giveaway. On the board of directors at the bike giveaway. So if you know Eric and you want to help some way, you know how to get him. Dub Peacocks, A-Bird, AC, and Heating. If you think your central air or heat unit might have some issues, they charge $95 to come out and do a inspect on it. That's pretty cheap for preventative maintenance. Dana Lang is in the real estate business. One of her companies is called Dana Sells Cowtown. She's very knowledgeable about Fort Worth history too. Dickey Carr Sand and Gravel, that's Pat and Richard Carr, second generation. In fact, Richard's going to send me some updated logos that they've got. Richard and Pat are both down at the Boot Ranch. You're right in the middle of that flood area. He goes down there for several weeks every year. Coburn's Catering, Steve Coburn. They've been in business since 1946. In fact, the only job I ever had was a kid. I worked at one of my uncle's anodizing plants on North Main, and I used to walk over there and eat when it was a cafeteria. But they do all size events. They do the stock show every year, so you can't have an event too big. Fort Worth Lumber Company is on Interstate 35 South. It's a huge complex. If you need building materials, plans, you want to go down there and just bounce some ideas off those people's expertise, they're all there. K Ranch Roofing, Jorge Hernandez has been several years. They've done a lot of roofs for our members. They charge you nothing to come out and inspect your roof with all the high winds, hail, and all this other stuff we've had this year. If you think you might have roof damage, call. They'll send somebody out. Bree will take care of you and set up an appointment that's good for you and good for them, and they'll tell you. Don't try to get a ladder and climb up on your roof. You'll fall and break your neck. Brandon Cross Electric, they do commercial and residential. They do great work. Manny Ramirez swears by them. They've done a lot of work for our members. Jenny Stewart. Jenny is in the State Farm insurance business. So the way I look at those insurance companies, number one, they got all the money. State Farm, Allstate, and Farmers, they're all great companies. It's which one is going to give you the best coverage for the least amount of money. So it costs you absolutely nothing to call Jenny's team and find out what they'll charge you as opposed to what you're currently paying. Old South Pancake House, Rex Benson owned company. Old South was started, really it was called Smitty's in 1958. Dave Benson, Rex's daddy, bought it in 1962. They've owned it ever since. 2 locations. The one on University is 24/7. You can get breakfast all day long. In fact, Don Curry and Daniel and Daniela were here yesterday, and they left here to go over there. Don wanted pancakes, bacon, and eggs, so that's where they took him. The one in Burleson closes at 9 or 10 at night. Optimist Club of Fort Worth, they are international, so Jeff Norman runs the one that we do business with. They provide the museum a Christmas tree every year, and those trees are about $200. They're beautiful, but they do lots of great stuff for both boys and girls, for kids. Charlie Guerin, Railhead Barbecue, he's our state rep. He's also on the board of directors at Larry's Kids. Brought in a lot of money last year. Brought in a lot of money. You'll see people at the giveaway that are politicians or people of public people there to do a photo op. Not Charlie Guerin. He's out there giving away bikes, as is Mike Moncrief, Betsy Price, Mayor Maddie, Brooke Rollins. Carlos Flores is always there. Michael Crane is always there. So we have a good group of publicly known people that are involved in it. Chasen Smith and Andrew Wallace have a company called America's Senior Benefits of North Texas. With all of this new bill that they signed, the big beautiful bill, I've been told it affects a lot of the Medicare and Medicaid. These two guys are up to snuff. I'm telling you, they know their stuff. So you call them, they'll come to you, you can go to them, they'll meet you somewhere in between, but you need to get a handle on it. If you just try to look it up on the internet, you'll go nuts. Raines Plumbing, family-owned business. They pride themselves in their customer satisfaction, and they've done a lot of work for a lot of our members. Okay, let me move this. Okay. Trying to get used to this new deal that Scott set up. Tri-State Dent. Jason and his team, they come to you. You can go to them. They've got a brick and mortar. They do hail damage, door dings, minor dents, They'll work with you on your deductible if they can. A lot of these deductibles, people put them at $1,500 or $1,000, and the bill's only $800. There's nothing they can do on it. If the bill's a couple of thousand and you got a $500 deductible, they're going to work with you. Rex's Bar and Grill. We're going to have our birthday party there, not tomorrow, but next Saturday. Come at 10 a.m. I hope to see a bunch of y'all over there. It'll be from about 10 to noon. Sherry Holt has set up our birthday parties for the last few years, and she does a great job. This thing's gotten way bigger than a one-man show. Like I was saying yesterday, sometimes people will make a comment that needs to come down. There's only two people that can do that, myself or Scott. And we both have regular jobs, which is me detailing and Scott doing his technical stuff, building websites and stuff. So we need y'all to help. We've got 150,000 policemen. All you have to do is report it to the admin. I've got my phone in my pocket. I get a ding. I look it up. I look at it. If it's somebody cussing, bullying, inappropriate stuff, we take them down. I take the post, the comment down and the person. I don't give second chances. Scott goes through and tries to work with people. But you don't get that with me. We're not babysitting people here. Wargacey Somerset is our sponsor that are attorneys. Christy Jack, Tiffany Burks. I mean, they've got some high dollar and regular attorneys over there. They do wills, murder cases, whatever. Wargacey Somerset. Swartz and Hanson. Jerry Swartz and his partner Hanson are our architectural sponsors. Very, very active in the bicycle giveaway. Very active. In fact, they both made me Jerry made me a promise he's going to be at the bike giveaway this year. Stroud Auto Supply. Danny Stroud and his wife are second generation. The reason I know that is I used to have a 55 Chevy 60 years ago, and a guy on Belknap, California Tom. I didn't have any money, and I said, well, look, what if I buy the parts and you just kind of tell me what I need to do, and I'll do the work. And he said, all right, go buy the parts at Stroud Auto Supply. So they're in the Riverside, Haltom City area. Phelps Family Auto Care. Mike Phelps and his family, I visited with them several times. Their location is in Burleson, but they got a big draw from Fort Worth, so these folks are very well known. G2 Garage is in the White Settlement area, but they also draw people from Fort Worth. Chris and his team over there, they pride themselves in their customer satisfaction. Dickie Carr is Richard Carr's nephew. His company is Grateful for Your Trees. Not only do they trim trees, cut trees down, they'll come out to your place and you can say, you see that big oak tree over there? I want it cut down and made firewood out of it. These guys can do it. But they do landscaping, fencing, haul-offs, privacy fencing, retaining walls. They do it all. And plus, he's Richard Carr's nephew. Richard Carr is a great friend to all of us. Fort Worth Florists, Jeanette and her team, they've sent flowers all over the world for us. They're pretty far out on Camp Bowie Boulevard, but all you got to do is call 817-244-2345 and you're fixed. Stinger's Bar is owned by Blue Mound Cafes. It's in the old Mark Dean barbecue store on the feeder road on 199 in Azle. I go to it often. We watched some games there. They got all the finger foods. And now Blue Mound Cafes has also opened another new location. It's called The Anchor, and it's on Eagle Mountain Lake. I've got to get with them and get their artwork on it. But all 5 of the Blue Mound Cafes are sponsors of our group. Their food is consistent year after year after year. I tell you what, you need to get a to-go box every time. They give you large portions. So if you're on a diet like me constantly, it's a 2-meal deal. Scott Sumner is our IT guru. He builds websites. He keeps all of this stuff for Memories, which we are the largest media outlet in the Metroplex. I just put the new numbers out this morning. In the last 28 days, we had 3,100,000 views. I did a social media search of Google and AI, and they said a large group, it gets 2 million views occasionally. We get close to 3 million views every single day. So that breaks down to every day we get about 111 or 112,000 views. There's no Channel 8, 5, 4, 11, they don't have any numbers to touch that. The Star Telegram, nobody. And that's because of y'all. We post local stuff, information that we think you need to know. The school, we follow the school stuff. We have a political group, but we often interview our civic leaders. Michael Crane, you see him here often. He lets you know what's going on. Maddie Parker, I've got 3 people I interview that all I have to do is introduce them. Maddie Parker, Bud Kennedy, and then there's 2 or 3 others that are very knowledgeable. You just introduce them and they just start talking and telling you everything. So we're fortunate that they come on our group and work with our members. Manny Ramirez has been a godsend to us. I've interviewed Manny more than anybody, over 100 times. When we had that CCPD vote coming up, 2 or 3 years ago, Manny came on. He said, well, it'll probably take me 2 times. I'll come on Tuesday and Friday. On Friday, he said, they're not getting it, Larry. I'll come back next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, he said, I'll be back Friday. He came back 10 times. Finally, he said, they got it. And it passed. So, there's Eric Walsh right there. We try to provide information that is good for everybody. Winstead Paint and Body. They are on White Settlement Road. I've personally been doing business with the Winsteads 40 years. Before Clay ever was involved, his family owned it. They do great work. When I was rear-ended by a UPS driver or FedEx driver 2 or 3 years ago on Jacksboro Highway, I was sitting stopped because that traffic stops over there. Winstead did a great job. They put a new frame under it. I've never had a bad experience over there. So if you would like to be a sponsor, it's cheap. It's $1,500 a year. And I post your stuff every day. I post your card. I talk you up. You're able to come in here and do a live video. There's Michael. Can you send the address to Zeke's? Gonna try and make it, certainly. I'll do it right now. I used to know it by heart. I think it's actually on Curzon. Zeke's Fish and Chip in Fort Worth. Zeke's. 5920 Curzon Avenue. I'll post it. 5920 Curzon. Brittany, if you can call them, tell them we're going to show up. We usually bring a big crowd over there. We've had as many as one last year. Wes Williams and Sarah was coming, and he called me and said, Larry, we're outside the lines all the way down the street. And I said, yeah. We draw a big crowd at Zeke's. We draw a big crowd at Angelo's, Railhead. So 5920 Curzon Avenue. And Brittany, the phone number is 817-731-3321. People say, well, it's been bought out. Well, it doesn't matter. The food's the same. Those people are very nice. I like them. Okay, let's see if we got anything. I've been looking at Channel 8 lately. Deborah Ferguson has been on top of this thing. And the leading story is Ken Paxton's wife's filing for divorce. Why would that matter to us? Let's get to what is I don't see any. Channel 8, you dropped the ball this time, I think. We need to know what's happening down there. Channel 5 says FEMA records show Kerr County did not alert all cell phones as flooding began. You know, I know y'all get it just like I do. These you get the Amber Alerts, and you also get these national weather deals. I thought that was a national deal. Somebody that's knowledgeable about that, tell me why Kerr County did not. What? I don't understand that. I think those national weather deals, tornado come in, this or that, it goes to all cell phones in your area. Channel 5 says Texas officials try to determine how many people are really missing in the floods. I brought that up a couple of times. What about the people that were not going to one of those camps, that were just camping along the Guadalupe? Homeless people. I mean, I'm betting there's more than 170 people missing. Trump is going to tour the Texas flood damage. And, you know, I know politicians that got to go down there. Ted Cruz has been there, Governor Abbott, now the president, other politicians. Really, y'all ought to just do a flyover. Because now they have to figure out, especially for the president, they got to put on 100 more police officers or whatever. So, but of course, if you don't go to it, then the other side, the party that's not in power, just ridicules you. So you're danged if you don't, and you're danged if you do. He's bringing his wife, so today he'll be shot down there. I still think it's been Friday, a week ago today, since they found a person that's alive, and I'm going to ask Mr. or Mrs. Google, whoever it is. When was the last person found alive in the flooding in Kerrville? Well, it usually tells me. No, you're not very good today, Mr. Google. Yesterday it was since last Friday. Wait a minute. USA Today said it's been 7 days. It's last Friday. But if you're one of those families that has either children or loved ones that are not found, of course you don't want it to ever turn into a strictly recovery mission only, but I've been posting 3 prayer requests today, and we've been getting hundreds of prayers. The people down there need money. There's many ways to donate. I still say if somebody knocks on your door at your house, I would not give money. It needs to be a reputable deal. Scott sent me a message yesterday or today saying that we have we are directing people who want to donate money monetarily to 3 places: Red Cross, Salvation Army, Southern Oaks Church in Kerrville. Also, Kerrville County has a GoFundMe. Fort Worth Police, you can donate money. Fort Worth Fire, you can donate money. They have separate deals for the flood victims. It's hit real close to home. One of our members, Pat Green, lost his entire brother's family. Pat's office, it's 30 feet from me. I can throw a rock and hit it. Pat's been involved in our giveaways. The COVID year, Pat was involved in the big giveaway over at Rogers. He was involved in the diaper giveaway, and I don't know if he was here on Thanksgiving of that year, but 3 or 4 drives he was active in. Great guy. Okay, anybody got anything they want to discuss? Michael, did you get that address? 5920 Curzon. But I'll send it to you here in a minute. Do an online bidding war. Yeah, that's what we're hoping. Okay. How do you volunteer for the bicycle giveaway? Larry's kids. Show up at 6 a.m. or a little bit before on December 13th, Farrington Field. One of our volunteers will direct you where to park. And then you just go down there, and we have team captains that'll direct you to either the toy part, the bike part, or the helmet part. It's real simple. It goes real quick. We're done by 11 a.m., 11:30. I don't know the answer to that. I don't know anything personally about online or silent auctions. Colin Lassiter. I will put his contact information out there. He's on the group, so you can instant message him. Eric Walsh, those 2 guys are heading up the silent auction, online auction, whatever it's going to be. So if you've run one of those, or if you've been involved in one of them, we just need some education on it. But both of those 2 guys are very knowledgeable. They're going to pull that off without a hiccup. No, we do not. There's no training period. When you get there, you'll see 4 lines of cars that go as far as you can see because it's dark. And then when we open the gates, they all start coming up, and that's when you help put toys, bikes, or helmets in the vehicles. Yes, we do. Fort Worth ISD opens the field house up for our volunteers to use the restroom. Yes. And we usually have restaurants that bring food for the volunteers. One year, that Chimmy's over there in the 7th Street corridor, they brought tons of food. I thanked the man, and he said, hey, we're just giving back. 4 of our waitresses came over this morning, and each got a bike and some toys for their kids. So like I say, we don't ask any information. I've had people over the years say, well, there's a lot of new Suburbans or new trucks. I don't know about any of that. None of us would ever embarrass anybody and ask them about how much money you make or any of that. We don't ask anything. We don't ask your name. You can tell the volunteers thank you. That'd be nice. Well, that first group, the first group of volunteers, I call them our first responders. They talk to the people as they're pulling up. Bill Palmer pretty much runs that part of the deal, and he can explain all of that if that's where you're at. That's a real fast-moving, time-consuming. You have to get information from the people, and then they mark on the windshield so that when your vehicle pulls up, the people that are putting the items in the vehicles can see, and everybody's calling it out before it even gets there. Bike for a 10-year-old girl, or toys for a 5-year-old boy, and then order pullers start pulling that, and when the vehicle gets there, they load it in. We try to get you out of there and around the curve and back out on the street. Because, like I say, last year we had 1,120 cars. And we did them all. We opened at 6:40 last year, and we were done at 11. In fact, Bill Palmer's on here now. There are a lot of old cars, trucks, and oh yeah. In years past, every year we always have somebody that brings those air tanks. We bring 5 gallons. We have several things of gas, jumper cables. We've had people had flat tires that we've helped them change their tires. So the only thing I tell you to bring is handkerchiefs or Kleenex. It's a real emotional event. Not everybody lives the way that some people live. Some people don't have a lot of food in their refrigerator, or extra money to buy a bicycle for Christmas. They've lost their jobs, whatever. But we ask no questions. So, and that's the way it'll always be as long as I'm alive and the president of it. Next year, one of my best friends, Kyle Polson, his son Jackson has been involved since he was 8. He's now a sophomore at Texas A&M. I'm going to put him on the board next year, which will be the 40th anniversary, and it's time to let some of our college age or younger people, men and women, help step in and move this thing for the next 40 years. But it's a little old bike giveaway that I started back in the 80s, and we've given away $1 million worth of bicycles. That's a big deal, really. Okay, who else? Do you have a florist? I do have a florist, Fort Worth Florist. We try to only have one business per. I tell you, we need a paint contractor bad. I've needed a paint contractor. I've told people I don't have one. A roadside service. You know, people that tow cars, change flats. We need a dentist. We need a financial planner. Because we've got, just on the Memories group, it's 131,000. So you get plenty of exposure. Yeah, Brittany, every year you give us candy canes. How long have you been in the... I actually had a guy come by here yesterday, and he looked familiar, but he said, Larry, I've been gone 20 years, but 25 years ago I helped you with 5 bike drives in a row. And I remembered him. He worked out at General Dynamics. They are one of our big donors, the International Aerospace and Machinists Union. They give us lots of bikes, toys, and helmets. In fact, the president of that union, Paul Black, retired last year, so Kyle and I and whoever was out there helped moving the stuff. We met the new president of that union. Scott's going to fix that, I think. He's already fixed most of it. Yesterday I had 4 or 5 cameras I had to deal with, and today it's just this one. He's eliminated these others. Now next Thursday we've got a big interview coming up with Lanny Landcart, his daughter Kelly. Kelly runs their promotional and advertising at Joe T's. Hal J, WBAP, and Haywood, Hugh Savage. They'll be with me from 11 till 12 next Thursday, the 17th. On the 19th, which is on Saturday, is our annual birthday party at Rex's Bar and Grill. And we'll probably have this year's boxing and Cowtown program at Rex's. We had a good visit yesterday. Don Curry came by. He comes by often. Don started it all off for us. He was our first world champion. And a good one. He was the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. IBF, WBA, and WBC. The Cleburne group, no, they had a death. And they're trying to get somebody that's going to take on that spot. But I have not heard from them this week. But they'll be back on board. There's about 25 or 30 people. Okay. So I'm going to run. What do I need to do? I need to put the address for Zeke's. I need to post info on how to get a hold of Colin or Eric. But we're going to get that thing set up fairly quick, because if we do it 60 days out, that'd be October 13th, and we're at July 13th. So we don't have but about 60 days to get ready. How much what? I don't have the exact number. It was 80,000, I think, 80 or 85,000. 100% of our money goes back to the kids. There is no salaries. There's nobody gets paid. Nothing. In fact, the formation of the 501c was paid out of pocket, not. So there's no. The only thing that we spent money on was balloons that were $1,120, and we're not going to do that again. Yeah, Don looked real good. He talked real good too. He's dealing with that CTE, but he was on board yesterday. I remember the first year I ever had him, which was 12 or 13, 14 years ago. I couldn't get him to say 2 words. The last 4 or 5 years, you can't shut him up. There's Gene. Good morning, sir. Gene, we're eating at Zeke's. You've been there many times, but 5920 Curzon. And we'll have a minister there. We always have a prayer at every event, every lunch meeting, everything. So we're going to do a special prayer tomorrow for all of the really for everybody all over the world. It's just been a horrific week. Business is dead everywhere. It kind of reminds me of 9/11, you know? Everybody's just in shock. Somebody yesterday sent me that song Alan Jackson did. I'd forgotten that song. Where Were You When the World Went Round, or whatever. What a great song. Okay, so I'm going to sign off for a little bit, and I'll be on many times today. We're eating again at Zeke's tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So I hope everybody has a great day. It's going to be in the 90s. Stay hydrated. Loose clothing. Love all of you. Now, how do I shut all this stuff down?